In this video, I want to help you with club selection while you're playing out on the golf course. Part of scoring well is being able to assess the shot in front of you and choose the correct club out of the bag that fits your game. So what I've done is created a few scenarios that you will encounter when you go and play on the course, and I want to give you some tips with how to think about which club to pick. So the first scenario that we have is a par 3 over water. So if we look at this hole and we do a flyby, the hole is 176 yards over water and the flag is in the middle. You know, the most important thing with a shot like this, we want to be able to carry the ball over the water and put it in a position where we're either on the green for an easy 2-putt or somewhere over the water where we could chip on the green and 2-putt and get a 4 on a potentially difficult hole. So when you are choosing your golf club, I want you to choose your yardages based on the average distance that you hit it. A lot of times players will choose a club based on their best possible outcome. So if we were to hit 10 shots on the driving range, you're going to have some that you hit really clean and they go far. You're going to have some that are mishits, and then we're going to have the average. Choose your yardage based on the average, not based on the best you could hit the golf ball. So for me, 174 yards, this is between a 6 and a 7 iron. I'm going to err on the side of taking an extra club. I'm going to go with a 6 iron, so I have more than enough club to get this over the water. Okay, so go through your routine. Trust the club that you have. And then make a shot. And so in this case, it's okay to go a little bit long. I'm on the green there for a 2-putt. But if you're going to err, in this scenario, I would rather have you err long going over the green rather than having to take your best shot. So if I took a 7 iron, I could get it there. But if I was off just a little bit, I run the potential of hitting it short and going in the water and taking a penalty stroke. So definitely choose your golf club based on the average distance that you hit it, not the longest or your best shot with that club. Okay, the next scenario that we have here is going to be your second shot on a par 5. So let's pretend that you just bombed a drive. This is a par 5. We're here at Doral. Let's pretend that you just bombed a drive straight down the middle of the fairway. And then now we're going to have a second shot. We're going to have an approach into this green. And I want to go over the options that you have. So if we are in the fairway, we have 220 yards left. You know, when we look at this shot, it could be a difficult shot. We have water in the front, and we have bunkers over on the left. What I see when I do playing lessons, I see people get aggressive oftentimes with their second shot on a par 5. So they are choosing a 3-wood, or they're choosing clubs that they might feel uncomfortable with. I want you to select your golf clubs based on your skill level and your comfort with that golf club. So if you don't have the skill level and you don't feel comfortable with a 3-wood or a 3 iron, choose a golf club that you know you can make solid contact. That might be a 7 iron for you. Again, it's a second shot on a par 5. You have 2 shots to get on that green. So option number 1 would be to go for the green here from 220 yards. We could go right at it. It is a high-risk option. If I'm a little bit off, then I have the potential of getting a penalty stroke. Option number 2 is laying up. And so when we look at this map over here, we want to advance it up the fairway, but we don't want to get too aggressive with our layup shot. We want to pick a club that will keep us short of these bunkers. So even if we hit it left, we could be in this rough. But if we take too much club, then we bring the bunkers into play. And so to get to that first bunker is 162 yards. I'm going to give myself at least 10 yards of cushion. So I'm gonna choose a club that I could only hit 150 yards. Okay, so for me, I'm just gonna hit a smooth 8-iron. All right, I'm going up the middle of the fairway. So I'm choosing a conservative play, but I'm swinging with confidence and commitment, even though it's a conservative play. We're still gonna swing confidently. All right. I advance the ball up the fairway. It's out there 143 yards, okay? So now I have 77 yards into the green. So I have a smooth little pitch shot going into this green. So with your second shot on a par 5, choose a golf club that you feel comfortable swinging. Listen to your instinct. If you are holding that 4-iron and the lie is not flat and you just don't feel right, don't hit that golf club. Choose a club with more loft. Choose an easier shot. And then if you do decide to lay up, make sure that you don't get aggressive with the layup. Give yourself a cushion. Put the ball into play, get on with your third shot, and give yourself a chance for making birdie or par. The next scenario that we have is a short par 4. Short par 4s are really fun because if you hit a good drive, you could get close to the green, but that's what they're designed to make you do. Short par 4s are designed to make you take a necessary risk. And part of scoring well and shooting career lows is making high probability decisions out there on the golf course. And so with this shot that we have here, if we do a flyby, this hole's only 288 yards. So if we hit a good drive, you could see there's a tree in the way, but if we hit a good drive, this green is still surrounded by bunkers. All right, and so what we want to do is just get the ball in play off the tee. So we assess the hole, we look at it, and then we see where can I hit the ball where bunkers don't come into play. So there's this nice gap right here. So I have to hit at least 200 yards, but stay short of 250. So for me, I could hit a hybrid or a 3-wood. So we'll do the conservative play here first, where we are taking the bunkers out. All right, so I'm just gonna hit a 3-wood right here. So ball should stay short of those bunkers because I didn't hit the driver. And now I will have just a short little shot into the screen. What happens though, we want to hit shots like Rory McIlroy. You know? We want to hit shots like DJ. And we get overly aggressive. And so here's a drive. And, I made good contact with that one. And am I going to get lucky with this? No. So now, depending on the quality of your bunker play, you might have a really awkward second shot. So you might now have a bunker shot from 30 or 40 yards from a flat lie. You would much rather just position yourself off the tee, make a smart play on these short par 4s, take your chance with a wedge from the fairway. Don't get risky and then have to hit some kind of miraculous short shot from around the green. So definitely pay attention with what club you're using off the tee with a short par 4. So this next scenario is when we hit the ball out of position. And what I mean by out of position is you either hit it in the trees or you hit it in a bunker. And what we have to do from there is get the ball back into play. So here we have a par 4, and it's pretty straightforward. A little dog leg left, but let's just say I accidentally hooked it into this fairway bunker. All right, so I'm going to drop the ball in that fairway bunker. All right, so then now we are 182 yards away. So when you're in a bunker like this, number one priority, we have to get out. we can't get overly aggressive. We have to take enough golf club to hit it over this lip. So let's say ordinarily from 180 yards, that's a 5-iron for you, okay? Now, if we get aggressive, we have the potential to hit the lip. So like that one, it hit the lip, and now I didn't advance the golf ball because I got overly aggressive. What I should have done instead was take enough loft. Now, I'm going to take, instead of taking a 5-iron, I'm going to take an 8-iron. And then now, I'm just going to advance that ball back into play. Okay? And like, I'm back in the game, you know? And so, what happens a lot, we'll hit the lip, it goes into another bunker, and then that's just the start of a blow-up hole. You know? And so, part of reaching your scoring goals and shooting career lows is keeping your bad holes to a maximum bogey. Even double bogey doesn't really ruin your round. You could have a double out there. But when you get those snowman, when you get an 8 because you're just making overly aggressive plays, that's when we have trouble. Another scenario, this would be if we hit it into the trees. All right, so I am out of position here. Let's see. We could see the flag out there, but we have trees in the way. And so I want you to select your shot based on how many times you could execute it out of 10. I want you to execute these shots 7 out of 10 times. So can I get through these trees into that flag 7 out of 10 times? Probably not. Maybe 1 out of 10 I could do it. So I have to think, like, well, how can I get back into play? So I'm looking at it, there's still trees over here, there's a gap, it's still kind of small. What's a high percentage play? Here we go, here we have a gap. Now, what happens is people just default to grabbing their wedge, and then they still hit it, they get aggressive with their layup back to the fairway. So what we want to do is take the extra second to figure out how far do I need to carry this golf ball so that way I could get it back into play. And it looks like there's a bunker right here, so I have to hit this ball at least 80 yards to get it back into play. You know? And so this is where I can take I'll use a wedge here, so we're going to hit this around 80. Ball is over the bunker. I would even like a little more cushion than that. That's going to be okay. But be conservative with how you get the ball back into play. I see a lot of people, they'll realize, like, hey, I can't go for the green, and then they go for a medium risk shot. Take the risk out. Just get the ball back into play. So you'll be there in 2, you could get on the green in 3 and have a putt for par. Worst case, you know, you 2-putt for 5, you get a bogey, and you go on to the next hole. The final scenario is hitting an approach shot when the flag is at the back of the green. If the flag is in the back, we do not want to go long. We would rather be short and hit a long putt than go over the green and have a really tricky short shot. And so here's a scenario. We have 108 yards. Okay? And if we do a flyby, it's a little uphill. Pin is in the back. Okay? So if you're in between clubs in a scenario like this, I would rather have you use the short golf club knowing that we can't go long. So here, I'm going to take a smooth little gap wedge, and even if I hit this really good, it's not going to go way over the green. You know, it's not going to go more than 110 yards. So then I could do something smooth and committed. Okay. And it's going to stay short of that flag. But if I were to take a pitching wedge, for example, if I just had a lapse of judgment where I didn't recognize the scenario and I pulled a pitching wedge, And then if I make a good contact with it, then I'm like, oh no, I just hit this over the green. Now, when we get back over the green and we short side ourselves, okay, now we have a short shot with no green to work with. And now when we don't have any green to work with, this is where people have to be precise. You have to be precise with your shot. And if we're just a little off, that one is actually pretty good. I landed that in the fringe. But oftentimes will be something short. Now I have another chip shot. Or we're going to land it on the green. And then the ball's going to roll, you know. And then that's where double bogey comes into play. And all of this happened just because I chose the wrong club with my approach shot. So, you know, be mindful when you're out there. Read the lie. Choose clubs that you feel comfortable with. Assess the situation. Where is trouble? Where can you leave the ball where you could get down in 2 to 3 shots? So if you do this, you make good decisions out there. You make high probability decisions. I'm confident that the low scores will come.